Hi, everybody. So this is move number 8 of the 34 mat-based Pilates moves. And this move is very straightforward, pretty simple. We only do it 3 repetitions, 3 times. But what I'd like you to remember is that this is one of 34, that the whole 34 moves are a collection that when combined and done together are freeing for your whole body. So of course, your body wants to move in various planes, doesn't it? You know, it's good for rotation, lateral flexion, flexion, extension. And so it's really important that you see this as part of the whole. And this one is called the spine stretch. Sitting up straight and reaching forwards. So you can imagine that you're stretching the back of your legs and the spine. And can you see it's a very curved position, a forward fold in essence? So contraindications would be if you've got some kind of disc prolapse currently, and you know, when discs prolapse or bulge, they push out at the back of your body, the back and the sides of the spine. So folding forwards is creating a lovely big space for discs to move if there is a weakness there. So I would say don't do this if you've currently got a spinal problem, a disc problem. Nor would I suggest you do it if you know you're osteoporotic. So if you've got osteopenia or you know that you've got concerns about bone density, then go cautiously. But if you actually have osteoporosis and brittle bones, then this one's not for you because you're flexing forwards. And that's a direction where we naturally have some thinning of the bones on the front of the spine more readily than the back of the spine. So curling forwards is going to compress that area more and make it more vulnerable. Having said that, you'll probably go out the door in a minute and bend down to put your shoes on without thinking about it. So, you know, we have to function in life. I'm just flagging it up as an issue for some of you. So the spine stretch, if we're going to stretch our back of our legs and our lower back, then to go into it cold would not be a great idea, just because you won't get the most out of it. You're going to hurt yourself just because you're not going to get the most out of it. But bear in mind that we've already done rollovers, roll-ups, rolling back like a ball. We've already done hip circles. We've already done the 100. So in the 34 sequence, this is number, did I say 8? And you'll already have some warmth in your body and have fired up some muscles to support you. So this is why it's important you see it as a journey and not as an isolated move. However, this is what it's about. So to warm up briefly and follow me along, you're going to go down onto your side, roll onto your back. Things that you do to warm up would be joining in now some pelvic tilts. So just releasing your spine, lower back particularly, and letting the lower back flex and extend so that it's a bit more prepared for the forward fold when we're in sitting. Then, of course, always nice to do some rotating. And you could linger if you feel, so when I go to my right, ooh, this side feels a little bit stiff. So you could just linger, but this isn't about flopping really into a stretch. It's about mobilizing. So quite nice to just windscreen wiper the legs. I've just been doing some weights in the gym in the garage. So my body's warm, but it's a bit tight. Horses for courses. Always feel looser after Pilates and stronger but tighter after weights. No right, no wrong, just difference. Then we're going to bring the right leg in and stretch it up. Why? Because the stretch in sitting is going to require you to stretch the back of your leg. So let's draw this one in as far as it'll go. Notice that with my back flat on the floor and the other leg bent, I can bring it in miles, or at least it feels like miles. When I start to slowly lengthen the other leg down, I'm going to be tugged a lot more into neutral and find the stretch rather large. Point and flex. And the reason I'm getting you to point and flex as part of the warm-up is because when we do this spine stretch, then it's with flex feet. So you'll feel when you pull your toes towards you how that increases the nerve pull behind the knee. Maybe stretches into your calf a bit more if you're tight there. Are you joining in? Not just watching, are you? Come on, hit the deck. It's only about 5 minutes of your life, it'll do you good. And then bring both knees in, have a little rock from side to side with your knees hanging out wide. Why with our knees hanging out wide? Because when we get to the spine stretch, you're going to have your knees out, your legs out wide. So let's release the hips and the groin. And then let's swap legs, holding on to your other leg, unfurl it, take it up. Take your other foot to the floor. And then start to lower down, lower down, lower down. Opening across the hip flexor. And breathe. So notice if, like me, you've got one leg tighter than the other. That's going to be pulling on our skeleton, isn't it? So it's nice to try and balance things up a little bit. Simple moves. You can do these anytime. Pelvic tilts, baby shoulder bridges, twisting your knees side to side. Happy baby, knees to chest, hamstring stretches. Good to free up. And then release. So make any shuffles and movements you feel you want to finish off that little sequence, and then rolling onto your side, push yourself up. So the description. Excited. Take the position illustrated, and that is basically sitting up with your legs spread as wide as possible. Goodness me, so if they really are as wide as possible, it could be as wide as that. Draw your toes back, so that means feet flexed with your toes pointed upwards and backwards. Rest your palms on the mat or the floor in front of you, and then with outstretched arms, palms flat, chin touching chest. So we want to flex the upper back and the neck. Then begin reaching forwards with 3 successive sliding motion stretching movements as far as forwards until you assume the position illustrated in poses 3 and 4. Now in poses 3 and 4, he's got his hands down here and then he goes beyond his feet and actually reaches past the line that the feet are making. If you've got new hips, tricky hips, you might want your legs a bit narrower. If you find it really hard work and your back is tight and your hamstrings are tight, you could do the move with your legs bent. You could sit on a cushion, a little bit harder on a yoga block because it's solid and then you feel like you're going to fall off it. So here's the deal. Legs out wide, flexed feet, palms flat, sit up. And then this is not a bounce, it's not a shove, it's a gliding, sliding mobility movement. So you inhale. How are we going to do it? Well, we're going to curl chin to chest. We're going to round the spine and we're going to start to reach forwards. Now, as we reach forwards, am I letting my belly hang out? No. Am I drawing my navel to my spine? Yes. So I get as far as I can with my rounded spine. There's a sense of the tummy being pulled backwards, the lower back being held backwards, but I'm reaching the top of my head forward. So there's opposition. Here we go. Breathe in. 3 sliding movements. And that is it. We could roll up and restack the spine and just kind of go, okay, that was a bit quick. What next? Inhale. Chin to chest. Roll the spine down. Slide your arms forwards. Take a breath in. Tummy drawn back, 3 movements. Pushing down, pushing out through the heels, pressing the backs of the knees down, drawing the tummy in, making space for your fold. How far past your legs can you get? So this is about rounding the spine, lengthening the spine, stretching from tail to top of head, and then restack, coming up. One more for luck. Take a breath in. Hands on the floor, chin to chest. Draw your belly down or back. Curling forwards. This is a rounding spine, but there's traction. Take a breath in. And then your shoulders away from your ears. Press the backs of your knees into the floor. I can even see here that my right knee is lower to the floor than my left knee. So that would mimic the hamstring tightness that I've got on the left side when I was lying on my back. Tummy lifted, pelvic floor lifted. Roll your lovely spine up. Get taller, get taller, get taller. Nice. So quite a few of the moves that we have done so far, moves 1 to 8, we're in flexion. We've done single leg stretch. We've done rolling like a ball. We've been lying on our back doing the roll over, the roll up for 100. And then this is kind of like adding to that. It's fixing the legs. The legs aren't moving around. So the legs are fixed and pinned, which means your spine has to get the movement here. Then we're going to go on to the next 2 moves, which are also in flexion before we start to twist and go into back extension. So my point being, see this as one of 34. Yes, we need to stretch the spine. Yes, we need to learn to roll, to move, to free up the back of the legs and the lower back. But we also need to make sure we're going strongly the other way, because in our modern lives, we are very flexed. And so if you feel you want to counterbalance that here and now, rather than wait for another 2 months before we get to extension, then hands under shoulders, knees under hips, slowly ripple from tail to top, and exaggerate for a moment the extension as you lift your heart and lift the breastbone, but let the tail flick up, ripple from tail to top, sequential control, not lingering there particularly, but lingering in back extension. That's for the purposes of just doing this move in an isolated fashion, making sure that you've elbows are soft, heart lifted, chin slightly tucked rather than hanging on the neck. One last time. Good. Let me know how you get on. Move, so that's move number 8, move number 9 coming up soon. Take care. Well done.